I'm here with golf coach Kevin Landrum. Coach, your first year as the head coach for both the men's and women's programs. You've got your seasons underway. The women were just at the UW Eau Claire Invitational. The men have had a couple of dual meets against McAllister and Carleton. How are things going so far? Let's go with the women first.
The women had a good weekend. They played very well on Saturday. Considering we had a 40-minute delay with one hole to go, I thought we came back from that okay. And then Sunday was the longest round, 6 hours, that we will play all year. Probably one of the hardest and longest courses as well. So some of those uncontrollable things with it was cold, it was windy, the rain, the slow play, all the different uncontrollable things, I thought we handled those pretty well. Gia played real well with the 83 on Saturday and then came back with an 89 on Sunday, so she played real well. The others played very well on their second 9 on Sunday, so we have a lot of good things that we can take from last weekend to this coming weekend down in Wartburg.
You know, not to be overlooked, the women did have a dual meet against McAllister on the 1st of September, and Jenna Mrozinski played very well in that one. It's got to be nice for you as a coach. You know you've got Rachel Lamberty, and you know you got Gia Pooch, who are veterans, but to have some of the other girls step up and play very well is important as well.
Jenna's got a really nice swing, hits the ball really well, and she's really improved her short game this year, getting much better around the greens, her chipping, her putting. In that duel against McAllister, she chipped in for birdie on a par 3. So that's been the big difference in her scores, especially in Red Wing against McAllister when she shot that 89, is that short game and the chipping and putting, and that's really going to take her to the next level and really help us as far as that 3rd, 4th score for our team this year.
On the guys' side, there's been 2 duels. You played McAllister on September 1st, and then on Sunday you played a Ryder Cup match against Carleton. How are things looking on the guys' side?
We have good numbers. We're just trying to narrow it down and find 5 or 6 guys that will be consistent. That's our big thing right now, is consistency. We've got it from a few guys that still need to continue to get better, but in that 4 or 5 slot, we need to find 3 or 4 guys that are consistent and not shooting real well one day and real high the next day. So that's the main thing I'm looking for, is consistency.
Let's talk about this weekend coming up. The women head to Waverly, Iowa to take part in the Wartburg Invitational. Again, for the second weekend in a row, a very big tournament. There'll be a lot of very, very good teams in there, as well as a number of conference schools. Talk about the importance of playing against teams that are in the conference, because obviously at the end of the season, that's what really matters, is that MIAC tournament.
Yeah, going to these big tournaments, you do get a good mix of playing with people that you don't see all the time, but you also are playing the same course as those conference opponents, and so you can kind of gauge and see what they're shooting and how you kind of compare and stack up against the rest of the conference. So there was a good number of teams from the conference there this past weekend. We played with St. Kate's, their new program in the conference, so we played with them on Sunday. And then there will be a handful of teams from the conference down at Wartburg this weekend.
And obviously on the guys' side, the same thing. You're heading actually up north to Ham Lake, Majestic Oaks Golf Course for the Augsburg Invitational, and there'll be quite a few MIAC schools at that as well.
Yeah, it'll be a majority of MIAC schools, so that'll be a good test for us. It's real close to where we have our conference tournament. Majestic Oaks is set up very similar to Bunker Hills, so again, it will be good to see those conference schools for the first time, other than McAllister and Carleton. But yeah, we'll maybe get to play with some teams that we don't always get to play with. So that's kind of nice to not always be playing with the same people.
Women in Waverly, the men up in Ham Lake. Good luck this weekend, Coach.
Thanks, Donnie.